Well, all right. It's Friday, June 14th. Market is, well, the futures market's just about ready to come to a close in about 15 more minutes. I didn't think I was going to be able to get to a review today, but my daughter just went to take her nap, so figured I'd get one in real quick. Today was a somewhat frustrating day for me. It was just kind of a lot chop, like especially, you know, um, market open was like right around here, and it was just chop fest inside of this pretty big range. Some big moves either direction, but it was just really hard to tell what was going on, what the market was trying to do. And so I really sat through a lot, and it wasn't until somewhere around here, probably 11 a.m. for me, so it was around 2 Eastern. I finally got my first trade and then my second trade shortly after. Um, and unfortunately, by the time those two setups came up, I had decided to turn off my PA account and turn off all the copy trading, and I just chose one evaluation to trade. That was the evaluation that was lagging behind all the rest. And so I put both trades on there and ended up with two wins, made 852 today. So uh, just a slow day, slow week. 6-0 for the week though, so no losses this week, 100%. And I did, add did manage to add a PA here, number 12 this week, and then number 11 is the one that I've had for since I guess last week, if I remember right. So we got 3 trading days on PA 11 and no trading days yet on PA 12. Haven't traded it yet. And next week, all of these evaluations are going to be renewing on the 22nd, which I think is a week from Saturday, a week from tomorrow. So I need to try to pass virtually all of them by next week, not including the 250K account, which I was planning on renewing. I didn't ever think I'd pass it in the first month, and still, almost about 11,000 away, a little less for passing it. So a lot of work to do there. So anyway, let's get in here and take a look at my trades real quick, and then it'll be the weekend. So let's take a look. All right, so here we go. This was the open. I was looking to potentially trade the orb, but just didn't see it set up the way I would have liked. So I stayed away from that, and then just really choppy back and forth in this bigger range. The bottoms were really uneven. Couldn't really find where the bottom was going to be. Kept getting lower and lower, so gave the impression of potentially being bearish, but ultimately it failed out of the bottom twice, and then dropped shorts, I guess, and from here made 2 legs up. And so my first trade wasn't until all the way over here. Now, it's ironic because there were maybe a couple of things I was considering earlier on in the day, and just nothing set up really clean the way I liked it. And of course, somewhere around here, maybe around 10:45 or so, I can go back and check my live stream. I decided, you know what, I'm just going to turn off my my PA account. Also, I think I took care of my dogs, fed them, took them out. So when I came back from that, I was like, okay, I'm not going to trade my PA anymore the way the day was going. I didn't want to get stuck in a bad trade by accident late in the day. So I just, like I said, chose evaluation 49, which was the lagger evaluation that I had at the time. And then perfect setup for me. So this was a situation where, I had actually been looking at this tighter range up here when the action was up here. And then as it moved down, I was looking at this, and then this was a pretty obvious level. And so what we had here was a new high coming off the Bollinger top, and came down to the bottom Bollinger, pierced it. And what I noticed here was we had to close outside the Bollinger. I was talking about how, you could potentially just put a limit right at the support when you're outside the Bollinger, because you should be going right back inside the Bollinger. So that was one idea. But then when I saw this form with the strong bullish bar right at the support, piercing the bottom of the Bollinger again, it was a second entry long, first entry, second entry. And so I took that trade. I don't have the marks on. Let me turn that on real quick. All right, so here's the mark. So I entered 1 tick above for the second entry. Looked like it was going to go against me right away and fail, but I was just counting on the fact that this was a pretty solid place of support. And the fact that we already closed outside the Bollinger, came back in and then pierced it again. I felt pretty good that if this turned into a higher low, that it would end up working for my profit target. And in fact, it formed that higher low, and I actually tried to double down on my my entry and enter again. So this was with 4 contracts, and so I tried to enter again with another 4 contracts, and just entered too late. It went without me, and so I was able to get my profit target here, which basically was 6.5 points, 26 ticks, and then moved my last contract to break even +1, and it actually looks like it took a little bit of a loss. 53, 653. Yeah, I guess somehow I actually took a little bit of a loss on that. Must have been some slippage there, because it should have been break even +1. So I didn't even realize that. But in any case, the main portion worked. I was hoping it would go. I was thinking it would go all the way back to the top Bollinger again, since it came off the top here, and we had the range high here, but it didn't get that far. So I was trying to play it, giving it a little bit extra room in case it came down and then went back up. And unfortunately, it just never went there, and it came down and stopped that last contract out. And then not too long later, had a new high here, had a first entry long, second entry long, and now we were under that support level. And this was a situation where we couldn't even get back to the top of the Bollinger and the top of the range. So to me, it made sense that we would have a first entry, second entry long that would fail. And it was, the second entry long was off of an inside bar, so it wasn't a very strong looking second entry long anyway. It was also a new low, first entry short, second entry short when this engulfed. So I waited till the bar was just about ready to close, and then I entered short. And it wasn't a perfect entry right below this candle, but I figured any kind of entry there would be good. And it started going in my favor, and it came back. I actually moved my stop to break even +1. It took me out of the trade, and then I was like, why am I letting it take me out of the trade, especially on an evaluation? So I re-entered again, went short here, and then got the profit target here. So a little confusing. My first entry was at 41, and I got at 40.50, so I took like 2 ticks, it looks like, and then I entered again at 39, and let's see here, got at 32.50, so that's the full 26 ticks there, and then a little bit less, 2 points less on my last contract. So between those 2 trades, made 850, and I guess the only thing I'd say really is, it's frustrating when I'm sitting here all day, not taking a trade. I started at market open, 6:30 in the morning for me, and here I am not getting my first trade until 11, in a second trade. But sometimes that's how it goes, and I'd rather make good trades and get wins than just force something that I'm not really sure about, and all of this mess, and maybe get just chopped up and take some losses. So it's a balance. But when I look back at it, and I still realize that I'm 6-0 for the week. Not that one, this one. 6-0 for the week, 2-0 for the day. I mean, it's worthwhile to be patient and just wait for solid setups, wait for a reason. When I took these 2 trades, I had pretty clear reasons why I was taking them. The context was correct. And I was taking trades, at a really obvious level of support and resistance. And so when I do that, that's when I really do well. When I just guess, when I just try to, just want to trade and just kind of forcing an entry or saying, well, I think this or that, and not really having a solid reason to take the trade, that's usually when I take losses. So, I just kind of wanted to just cover that really for a moment and think about that, because in the moment it just feels like, oh, another day where I'm not going to take a trade all day. And yeah, maybe I wouldn't have had a trade all day if I stopped earlier, or couldn't trade as long as I did. But if you're able to stick around long enough, you're eventually going to see something you like. So that's kind of my takeaway for the week is While I do have the pressure on myself of wanting to pass some of these evaluations and not go into a second month on all of them, I also know how I trade, and I know when I'm trading well, and I know what makes me trade well, and I know when I don't trade well, what makes me not trade well. And so for me, I just have to be very meticulous, take the entries that are very clear to me, and leave everything else alone. That's just how I do the best. A lot of other people can kind of just, oh, I think jump on bandwagons going short here and just try to get in. But when I try to do that, that's when it reverses and does this kind of stuff. So I think that really covers it. Apex is doing the 71% discount right now. I don't recommend getting accounts at 71%. If you have an account that you failed and you have enough time, do a $35 reset is a better deal on a 50K than the 71%. So I would just do a reset if you have time. If it's coming up to a renewal, renew for the 80% is what you likely have if you've bought an account recently. So I just don't see any reason to buy new accounts for 71%. So don't use my code and don't get any accounts until the discount is at least 80% or better. And otherwise I'll be back at it Monday. 9:25 Eastern is typically when I try to start. And GameStop today was just really not very interesting. It really just didn't do much. So I had a couple of contracts or actually had four call contracts that expired today, expired worthless, lost the money on that. But I'm still up overall for my position, and I've got a lot of longer positions in play. And then I bought a new call for next Friday, June 21. I bought a 40 call that was really cheap. It was $1.55 per contract, so I bought 2 contracts, and just hoping that we can make a big move, maybe even at the beginning of the week with the shareholder meeting. And here's my GameStop. So I'm hoping that I can make a big move. Here's the daily chart here. So I'm hoping I can make a big move, get up towards 40. I can just collect some fast premium. Hoping something comes out of the shareholder meeting, something with Roaring Kitty or something with a merger or acquisition, just something to generate a big pop. And hoping to turn around that Friday call pretty quickly. I'm not going to hold on to it, not looking to exercise it or anything like that. So just hoping to get in on a quick call, cheap call, and be out of it by Tuesday or Wednesday, hopefully, if all goes well. So we'll see what happens with that. And in the meantime, hope you have a good weekend. Hope you have a good trading week, and I will be back at it on Monday. See you then.